I'm McCord, and welcome to The Real Deal on thestir.com. This week we've got the Real Housewives of product placement and performance. Oh, and stitch-ups. Oh boy, we have got some psychoanalysis to do this week, and I do not just mean Mama Joyce. Let's dig in. In Atlanta, we are winding down the season. Next week is the finale, but before we get to that and all the reunion madness, we have Kandi's musical, Mama Joyce and Todd, Queenie Nene, and Kenya's death in the family. First, it is clear to me that if Portia were not a housewife, she would not be in Kandi's show. The wonderful thing about theater is that it's live, and the scary thing is that even if you are Jennifer Hudson or Kerry Washington, which Portia is neither, you can't do live theater without rehearsing. All the talent in the world won't help you if you don't know the notes or the steps or when to come in and go out and where to stand. But Kandi's musical is getting a lot more airtime than it would because they can show everybody complaining about Portia. So in that regard, Kandi was smart. Hire the housewife for drama, but keep the understudy as backup. Good girl. Next on Atlanta, let's talk about being stitched up. Now what I mean is when the producers use heavy-handed editing to make people look bad. We saw several examples of it this week. Some deserved, some not. First, let's talk about Queenie Nene. She deserved what she got this week. She went for a meeting with her manager and told him that in addition to her clothing line with HSN, she wants to keep acting. Now that's great, good for her. But she doesn't read the scripts he sends her. She doesn't believe in acting class, and she doesn't watch TV. Well, I want to be a surgeon. I don't believe in medical school, but I've got a great bedside manner. Can I cut you open? All silliness aside, Nene needs to remember that the minute her popularity dries up, those scripts stop coming. So when you're no longer the flavor of the month, you need to fall back on talent. Next, a stitch-up that was not deserved, at least not yet. Peter Thomas got some bad news about the building that their bar is in, and the producers made it look horrible. Is it because he wasn't excited enough about that product-integrated Xfinity commercial he and Cynthia had to do? Did you catch that? Now let's not forget, Peter is a favorite punching bag of the Atlanta producers. This week, here's what I saw happen. Okay, Peter and Cynthia's bar is in a building owned by somebody else. They have a lease, they pay rent, fine. If that building owner stops paying the mortgage, that's nothing to do with Peter and Cynthia and their lease. I didn't like it that we, the viewer, were meant to think that Peter is some schmuck who can't handle his business. I hate it when reality TV messes with people's careers, whether it's cast or producers. But next, we've got to talk about Kenya Moore and her little dog, Velvet. This week, we saw Kenya distraught that her Yorkie was attacked by another dog and killed. Any animal lover would be upset about this. I was upset. Now, shortly after the episode aired, the website Media Takeout threw out a huge allegation. They accused Kenya of faking Velvet's death in order to gain sympathy and a storyline. Whew. Now, it appears that the fake-out claim could be bogus. Kenya's crazy friend of the housewives, Brandon, remember him with his red silk pajamas beating everybody up at the pajama party? Well, Brandon tweeted a year-old photo of Velvet in LA, which made everyone think she was alive. Friend Brandon wins the Attention-Seeking Moron of the Week award. He did not do Kenya any favors with that tweet. So, what does this drama teach us? That when you are hated on reality TV, you can do no right. I'm not a big Kenya fan myself, but even I wanted to give her a hug over Dead Dog Gate. People hate her so much they want to believe the worst of her. They didn't believe her when her dog died. Ouch! And apparently the entire Atlanta cast is threatening to quit next season if Kenya remains. And I call 100% BS on that one. No housewife ever will give up her job for another cast member. No way. But Atlanta has just been renewed for a next season. And prior to the whole 911 reunion weave-pulling gate, I would have said Portia was on the chopping block. We'll see. One last Atlanta tidbit. You may have heard that Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker got married this weekend, and Bravo confirmed that Kandi has a wedding spinoff that will air later in the year. I felt like this episode was a teaser. Todd and Mama Joyce finally had a conversation, and we finally got to hear what Mama Joyce is so upset about. 1, when they met, Todd quit his job. 2, Kandi gained weight. Well, let's not forget, Todd was a producer on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, so he had to quit his job in order to have a relationship with a cast member. And if Kandi gained weight, that's not Todd's fault. So, are you excited for the wedding spinoff? While you think on that, let's move on to Beverly Hills and the Secrets Revealed episode. I learned that Joyce is obsessed with saying pee-pee, which made me cringe, and Kyle, just like Nene Leakes, has a clothing line with HSN. Are you beginning to think that HSN and Bravo have a backdoor deal? The only other thing to say about Beverly Hills this week is that both they and Vanderpump Rules are getting another season. And Yolanda and Brandy made a cameo on this week's episode of New York City. Now, I like that. That's smart. 1 week after Beverly Hills is off the air, you still see the cast on another franchise. So, do you like the mix-up? If you could combine Housewives casts for an all-star team, whom would you choose? Tell me in the comments. Next stop on the reality train this week is the Real Housewives of New York City. First, we had a screaming match in the Hamptons, and I didn't catch a word of it, except to realize that hashtag Bookgate needs to die. They don't know when to stick a fork in it. It's done. Second, Sonia has evidently decided to be crazy and eccentric this season, as much as she can. And I think it's working for her. Hey, I mean, I think somebody rented her a house in the Hamptons for filming. I think that was probably Bravo. Yeah, I think so. Whether Sonia is losing a tooth, wearing a wig, or not wearing underwear, it is all good. Now, my viewers, what about Heather Thompson? Do you like her getting all gangster up in people's faces cursing? And further, if you're the one being cursed out, Aviva Drescher, would you call that being verbally raped? You know, on The Housewives, people always get their knickers in a twist over the word bully. You know, do you lose the right to call the bully card? And does that belittle people who are actually being bullied in middle school and high school? Well, now answer this. Are you allowed to say that you're being verbally raped? Personally, I think the verbally raped comment is way over the top and melodramatic and uncalled for. But beyond Aviva's poor choice of words, she finally had a good episode this season. She painted cute pots with her children, and she revisited the barn where she lost her leg. Regardless of what you think of Aviva, it was a touching scene to see her with her childhood friend turning on that machinery that ate up her leg. Ooh. This episode was proof positive that even though they tear you down on reality TV, they do eventually try to build you back up. So, will it work? Both Kenya Moore and Aviva Drescher had great episodes this week. Will it make them any less hated? And finally, did you hear? Kim Kardashian and Kanye West have to postpone their wedding, maybe. Oh no! The happy couple plan to tie the knot in France on May 24th. However, there's a problem that not even Groomzilla nor the reality TV producers can handle. France requires a 40-day residency before a civil ceremony can be performed, and that has to be registered before they can have a religious wedding. Although Kanye owns an apartment in Paris, he doesn't live there full-time. Well, by the clock, as long as they arrive in France by next Monday and stay there, they should be okay. But can they be away from Los Angeles that long? Or will they just film their wedding for the show on May 24th and get legally married sometime later? Let me know what you thought in the comments. Do you miss Beverly Hills already? And are you excited for Orange County to come back next week? For now, I am Alex McCord. You're watching The Real Deal on thestir.com. Bye-bye.